if my playoff predictions are wrong, at least the finals predictions are wrong, I will become a different NBA fan other than the Toronto Raptors next season. Yo, what is going on, guys? It's RMG here, back here after a long time with a no video, and today, as you guys can see on the screen, we got ourselves a playoff prediction bracket challenge. Now, unfortunately, my Toronto Raptors team did not make the playoffs, which is a big of an L because COVID and Tampa got all over them. But on the future side, we can actually pick some other teams that we can see. So, on the West, we got the first seed Philadelphia 76ers versus the 8th seed Washington, and the 4th seed New York Knicks, who have been, I'm so surprised they made the playoffs, against the 5th seed Atlanta Hawks. I kind of thought when they got Rondo it would have been a playoff borderline team, but they exceeded my expectations. And Milwaukee and Miami, perfect. Brooklyn, Boston, Phoenix, Lakers, Denver, Portland, Clippers, Dallas, Utah, and Memphis. And although that Memphis versus Golden State Warriors game was nuts. Anyway, guys, starting off, let's start from the west side. We got Utah Jazz versus the Memphis Grizzlies. As currently the Memphis Grizzlies are up 1-0 in the series. So this series, how the Grizzlies upsetted the Jazz in the first game is very surprising. I mean, Donovan did not come, but as Kendrick Perkin on ESPN said that if Donovan even comes, the Grizzlies are gonna upset it. And not gonna lie, don't think this Utah Jazz is a caliber for the finals. So I have to go with Grizzlies. I feel like Grizzlies will win this in 6 games. Yeah, that's like the most wildest predictions you guys will say, but I think it will be Memphis in 6 games against the first, and Memphis will get the 8th seed upset, which is the worst upset that could happen, and Utah will go home and come back stronger next season. Probably not the first seed again, but I don't know, man. Alright, next up we got the 4th seed Clippers versus 5th seed Dallas. Now, Luka just put on a show in game 1. Like, he put on a show, guys. So, as much as I love the Clippers, I love Paul George. As you guys know, Paul George is my favorite NBA player. I do think I want to see him win a ring, but I do feel like if Kawhi does not win or get any success in the playoffs here, he's going to leave the Los Angeles Clippers and probably do it. But there is a big chance that he might re-sign back, so which is always a possibility. But let's go ahead, and I do think how Dallas, if Dallas can go up 2-0 whenever they verse, I think they verse today at like 10:30. Yeah, if Dallas can get a 2-0 lead, Dallas will win this. But I do think the Clippers will pull this off, and I do think the Clippers will win this series in 6 or 7. I'm going to go ahead and say 6, but it could definitely go to 7. It all depends on today's game. Now, Game 1, I thought Portland was going to be easy because Jamal Murray's not playing, but now I know why Jokic is leading MVP, because man, the Denver Nuggets are coming out strong, and they blew out the Blazers yesterday. So I do think this is going to be a very tough game, but I got to go with Portland. This is my favorite team in the Western Conference, and I love Dame, I love Norman Powell, I love CJ. I'm going to have to go with Portland in 7 games. Now this, I do think this, guys. If this is wrong, I will have to become a NBA fan of one of the team for about a couple of games. 5 games. We'll say 5 games I'll be an NBA fan for that team next season. But I do think this. Whoever wins this series will be in the NBA Finals. That is my prediction. And I do think Phoenix will win this in about, as much as I hate to say it, I don't think it's going to go to 7. I think it's going to be 6, and Phoenix will win in 6. Yeah, I mean, that's like the biggest prediction I have to say. Devin Booker put 34 up. He was a bucket, and Chris Paul got injured, and that was pretty scary, but he still came back, or like he didn't come back, I mean, or they still won or something like that. I didn't really watch the game, so yeah. But over on in the East, we'll leave this as the conference semifinals. Now, we have this here. Philadelphia 76ers versus Washington. Washington had a 0.5% chance of making the playoffs, and they upset upset that, and they actually made the playoffs, which is a very good part. A good strong thing. I mean, like the Toronto Raptors and the Chicago Bulls were trailing behind them, trying to get in the playoff as a 10 seed, but Washington just did not give up, and they kept on holding that. So yeah. Um, so I do think Washington, they got here is big bearded, but I do think Philadelphia 76ers are gonna pull this off in 6 games. That. Now this, I was very upset when I watched the game. I I really want the Knicks. I want the second team I want out of the Eastern Conference to make the finals are the Knicks. As the number one I want to go is Milwaukee. I want to see in the NBA Finals, but after game one, it's gonna be tough. But I can guarantee you this will almost go into game seven. This I feel like is probably gonna be like a Celtics versus Raptors series. As like Hawks take game one, they'll take game two, they'll take game three and four, game five they will win, game six, and then game seven either could win. But I'm gonna have to go in New York in 7 games. Now we got Milwaukee and Miami. Milwaukee blew out Miami yesterday. They have a 2-0 lead. So I do think Milwaukee's gonna pull this out in 6 games as well. Now this one, it's a no-brainer. I know some of you guys are a Boston Celtics fan, but I do think Brooklyn's gonna win in 5. Oh, not 6. I do think Brooklyn's gonna win in 5, probably 4 if I'm being realistic. I mean, probably 4, but I do think Jason Tatum's gonna have one big game and probably pull out 1 game. Now this is our conference semifinals for the East as well. Now let's go back to the West and pick this. Now this, before I choose it, let's just check out some of the Grizzlies versus Clippers score, because I think the Grizzlies might have won one. No. Yeah. I think their game. Oh, so they played 3 times. So, Clippers won the one. Clippers won the second. Wait, if I'm not wrong, I am pretty sure. Wow, yeah. So the Grizzlies won the first one in a blowout, then Clippers won the rest too. So I do think Clippers will win this in 5 games. That is my prediction. Game 5, and they will make the conference finals. Now, Portland versus Phoenix is gonna be a heck of a game, a heck of a series if this ever happens. So I'm gonna go Suns versus Blazers. I do think Blazers won the last game they played, if I am not miscorrected. As no, they lost by 1. Oh no, they did win. They did win. Wait, they did not win. Wow, the Blazers did not win 1 game against the Suns. I mean, Phoenix is just a different breed this season, so I'm gonna have to go with Phoenix in 5, as probably 6, maybe 7, but I think Phoenix in 5. Now over here, I have a feeling Sixers are not going to make the conference finals. I mean, Julius Randle, if he steps up big time, so he has. We have not seen Julius Randle step up big time before in the playoffs, but I have a strong feeling he actually might this playoffs. I know Philadelphia is most likely gonna win, but I'm gonna have to go with Phoenix in 7. I mean, not Phoenix, New York in 7. As much as it's probably gonna be wrong, but that's my playoff prediction. Now this is probably a no-brainer. I mean, I do think the biggest threat to, actually no, I'm gonna go ahead and say Sixers and 7 as I change my thing. Now this too is a no-brainer. Like Bucks versus Nets. Let's check their scores. I'm pretty sure it was 3 games and Bucks won 2 out of 3, and they won by 1. So all 3 have been pretty decided by less than 7 points, which is pretty nuts to see. Like the 6 points. Like, so this can be a heck of a game. I do think Bucks will be the. I have a feeling the Bucks might be the biggest threat to the Nets. So I'm gonna have to go. As much as Milwaukee's a threat, I'm gonna still have to go Brooklyn in 7. I mean, as much as Milwaukee's a threat, Brooklyn's just nuts. So I do think the next we're in the conference finals now. Clippers versus Phoenix, no brainer. If I'm not wrong, Clippers, Sun versus Clippers. If I am not wrong, the Clippers might have lost all 3. No, Clippers won 2, so they might pull this off. But I do think the winner of this will make the playoffs. So I'm gonna have to go in Phoenix in 6. Now this is a no-brainer. I have never Sixers versus Nets. Let's just check the scores for this season. Sixers actually won twice. Now, I'm pretty sure not the big three were not playing, but I could be mistaken. How am I going to box score? All right, there's the box score. Nah, bro, I can't even. Are you serious? I can't even check the box score. Well, all right, I'm still gonna have to go Nets in like 6. Yeah. Now this is the whole showdown. The Suns versus the Brooklyn Nets in the finals. Now, I do think Milwaukee was the biggest threat to the Suns, but again, bro, this playoff comeback from Harden and the Nets when Kyrie and KD were out was unreal. This game was just like a blowout because KD just blew out everybody. As the point leader was Kyrie, but KD did like most of the things and stuff. As Kyrie had 12 assists that game, so yeah, I do think that. So I'm gonna have to go as the NBA champions are gonna be Brooklyn Nets in 7 games as my prediction. Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap up the video. Leave a like, guys. We're on the road to 150 subscribers. Hopefully, we can hit that very, very soon. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.